Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a quick look again at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. 96,900, ripped up to 98K, rejected again. Pretty consistent downtrend here, folks. So again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is very common. We break a trend line, people get a little excited, go long, price drops down from there, and we're back to where we started. So again, be very careful taking a long. I'm not personally considering a long until we break 100,000, or at the very least, we are knocking on that door consistently. Right now, it's just been kind of just complete trash, in my personal opinion, and that's kind of just the way it goes. Now, keep in mind, you can still find good, solid gems in the trash, right? Not like this is anything monumental, but we closed our, got basically averaged out of our position here for Ondo and XRP. That's not phenomenal gains. Litecoin was another one that's pumping pretty good. We had a Radium short, Solana short, and Cardano shorts. These happened in less than 24 hours. So it's awesome to be able to catch those breaks on a Sunday. But man, I tell you what, this market is just absolutely bonkers right now. So, if you're feeling frustrated, it's very common, very normal, but we walked away unscathed. And thankfully, too, again, my plus bot's killing it right now. I know this may not seem like monumental gains here, but take a look at this. We've averaged about $300 in profit using $50 per trade over the last week's worth of trading. So again, it's still a little early, but the new strategy seems to be working pretty well and people are finding great success. So thank you to those who are communicating in the plus chat here, kind of, discussing their results, and everyone seems to be profitable at this point. So again, still a little early, but congrats to our Premium Plus members for some nice consistent trading there. The new strategy seems to be working. After another couple months of that consistency, I'll let everyone know to jump on board. For right now, let's focus on the back-end data here for Bitcoin, see what's going on. Good chance that we're done sweeping the lower level, but also not. And what I mean by that here is that if we see the lower liquidation, majority of this level liquidation has been swept. This is about 25 billion. I added each one of these candle bars up. It's close to about 25 billion. With us sweeping about 2/3 of that, we can presume there's maybe about 10 billion left, perhaps even more with some late longs here, of course. Again, this high leverage people are just going to keep getting destroyed. Now, again, hypothetically, they took some profits on the way up, but again, there's still a big chunk there left remaining, letting us know that people have not secured a lot of profit on this. So a lot of greed's in the market, which is weird because the fear and greed index is more fear-based than greed. And actually, in the truth here, big picture, you are better off buying the fear and selling the greed, right? So generally speaking, we may be seeing a reversal. I think it's way too early to tell, but that could be a positive sign, right? Now, you have to take my word for it. The fear and greed index is somewhere in the range of like 40, I think it is, and that's more so on the fear side of things, where people are more scared the price is going to go down. This is what market makers do, though. They have a tendency of just keep putting on that pressure until everyone's forced to sell, and once everyone sells, they just crank up the price. It's disgusting when you think about it, but it's market makers 101. All right. Anyways, from a macro perspective, we're not really close to any heavy liquidation. We're kind of in this range. I foresee 95 to 100,000 being like the consistent range for Bitcoin. Unless we break below that, then we might see the low 90s, upper 80s as a potential reality. I have some limit orders set there as per usual, but between now and then, we can see liquidation delta is still very high. So a lot more people are shorting than taking longs. So again, that's all the more reason why probably not a good idea to take a long position until we have some type of confirmation above key level resistances. If we take a look here at open interest, we can see there's a ton of open interest at 96,000. So good news is with that range-bound activity for what seemed like forever, it was like 3 days of just 96,000, just keeps on retesting it. Half the reason why we flipped short and caught those nice little dips. 96,000 has proven to be a decent support range, right? We've had a couple of attempts to break down. It's quickly responded with some buying pressure. So we can see there's interest in 95 to 96,000 for longs, but no matter how you look at it here, there's still a lot of resistance above us, 99, basically 100,000, and then of course 98.5 as a secondary. So mental note, 98.5 and 100,000 are two potential resistances for us here, mainly because there's tons of open interest there, and there will be some exit liquidity if we come back to that price, because a lot of folks are underwater at that level. Okay, so again, you got to wonder, like, have you ever felt like I'm gonna keep adding to my position until it gets back to my break even and I'm done? That's basically what's going on here. Folks are heavy at 100,000, 98.5. They want to get out of their positions. When the price comes back up to that level, you will see some selling pressure. Okay, it's not a guarantee, but it's generally a very consistent thing in trading. Taking a look at this here, this is how obnoxious and ridiculous the trading is. Look at these candles here. super aggressive candle wicks, about a $4,000 range between 96 to 100,000. We saw 1, 2, 3, 4, now almost a fifth doji candle. Folks, when you see 1 or 2 doji candles in a row, it typically spells reversal. The fact that we've been unsuccessful to reverse back to the upside after 5 days of trading, I don't know if that says anything. I don't really like that. Granted, 2 of those days were weekends, so it's kind of flawed data, but it's just not, this is not optimal trading conditions. I'm sure you know that by now. It's not a big surprise, but still, par for the course, right? So let's take a quick look here at the traditional stuff here, right? We're under 50 on the RSI, have been for a while until we get above that and or 100,000. Not worth taking a long position unless you just kind of like flushing money down the toilet or just taking super high risk trades. I'm going to look up some analogies on just terrible ideas, like the equivalent of that. But, again, the only thing that I can always think of is like, walking into oncoming traffic. Do you really want to, do that? And it's okay if you do, because some people are risk takers and they like that, but you're not going to be successful at the end of the day. The odds of success is lower. That's all there is to it, right? Don't go against the grain. Right now, the grain is still moving down. We're below both moving averages. They are starting to average themselves out really close to 100,000. So just kind of give you an example here, the 50-day SMA and the 20-day SMA, they're starting to squeeze and compress here. We're starting to see somewhat of a death cross, if you will. I hate to even use that word because it's not like a specific indicator, but usually when both moving averages, the important ones like the 50 and the 20, they intersect, you generally kind of get this this confluence, letting you know that there's more support there, or in this case, more resistance, and they are averaging themselves out really close to that 100K mark. So again, that just reinforces this resistance range that we have here. It's hasn't changed at all. It's just pretty consistent. So just know that getting above 100,000, while it's important, is equally difficult. Okay. Either way you look at it, there daily time frame. There's nothing here that I see that's amazing. Somebody you're watching other influencers or whatever you want to call us, and you're like they're screaming bullish, hidden bullish convergence. I would steer clear of that because there's really nothing there that we see. And again, you can maybe identify that on smaller time frames. That does happen sometimes. But again, the lower the time frame, the less reliable of that that macro trend is becoming. So far, the daily time frame is not looking great. I recently looked at the monthly and the weekly time frames. They're not super awesome. They're kind of more like middle ground. There's a lot of conflicting factors. Some early indications, but also nothing crazy. So me personally, based on the current data we have right now, this descending trend, it's going to continue until it doesn't. All right, we have to presume it's going to continue down. And at this point here, we're just going to continue to ride the roller coaster. Oh my God, it just keeps on going, right? Just nonsense. So again, until that changes, you're pretty much just better off shorting the top and buying the bottom, right? Buy it 96K, sell it to 98 to 99. It's pretty much the par for the course for the last almost week's worth of trading. So I don't love this type of trading conditions personally because it wreaks havoc on swing trading prowess. And again, while the market does look nice right now, there's that natural knee-jerk reaction to a pretty red weekend, and just know that it may be a bad consideration to take some longs here today, but I'm just shooting from the hip. I haven't really looked at any altcoins yet. I'll look at that next here, but right here in the 4-hour time frame, we can see we're over 50 on the RSI, but we've been below and above. We keep retesting. While we are tentatively above, we want to maintain above that for at least another 24 hours. So don't get too ahead of ourselves. I would say staying above that is going to be nice if we can see it, but it's not there yet. We're also right here at the 20 and the 50-day SMA, probably hard to see until I zoom in, but right there, the price action is starting to compress here. So this is good news. We're getting closer to breaking above the 20 and the 50. I mean, we are technically above the 20, but it's still a little early. So those are usually signs I look for trend reversal, right? And higher highs and higher lows is also another sign too. So technically, we do have a higher high here and somewhat of a higher low, right? It's working itself into a channel. So again, this is generally favorable, but you could even argue this is a rising wedge, and the price action generally breaks down because of it. Okay, so still too early to presume that we're going to see a breakout or a run towards 100,000. We need to see higher volume in order for that to occur. And again, these kind of low volume pumps are not really super beneficial. We've seen a ton of manipulation. In fact, on a lot of altcoins, it's hard to identify here specifically with Bitcoin, but you see a lot of algorithmic trading when you zoom in, and you just see these perfect candles working their way up to a resistance, and then it just dumps from there. Okay, Solana is a prime example of that. That one's been a challenge. Even though we shorted with good success over the weekend, we had to close our previous long and kind of hedge our long with a short, if you will. Okay, so again, It's an interesting market, not the greatest. I don't love it, as you can kind of tell by my maybe my added sarcasm today. Either way, hourly time frame, again, a lot of chop here. Hard to get a good reading on where we're going to go next. There's no definitive break while the lagging span's free and clear and the conversion lines over the baseline. We're not maintaining above the cloud just yet. So again, a closure above 98,000 would probably be a good starting point. I would say that that may be an early iteration of a continuation, but I'm still not really leaning towards any kind of long for Bitcoin until 100,000. So my personal opinion, if we get closer to 100K, we're probably going to see rejection there and it comes back down. It's just kind of been par for the course. It just seems like all the market makers are on the same page at just rejecting the price in the 99 to $100,000 range. Okay, so just kind of go with that as your barometer here. Between now and then, can you take some longs with some altcoins? Yeah, they're surging today because they've been oppressed all throughout the entire weekend, right? But that will come to reality here soon. So just be mindful to adjust your take profit targets higher on your longs if you have them. And make sure you're not over leveraging, because again, the reason for a lot of this manipulation is because there's high leverage idiots in the market consistently. It'll never change. It's just kind of par for the course. And until that goes away, which it never will, then we're always going to face this here, right? Again, interesting stuff. So I hope that you made sense of this, or I made sense of this for you. Link down below if you want to become a better trader. Again, cryptocash.tech is a site. If you're interested in learning more about this trading bot, feel free to reference or reach out to me here. But again, pretty awesome, good little passive income results there. And I think that's going to be a good little mainstay for a lot of our Plus members. So cool stuff. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.